Abby.
Hey.
Hello, guys.
So
Hey,
guess
girl.
what,
Hey.
Abby?
What?
Eric hasn't eaten. So
Okay.
he's gonna be like such
Now,
a grumpy little bitch.
this is a fucking lie. She lies about fucking everything, bro. I'm fine. I ate earlier in the day and I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, but you get up at like 4 a.m., so it's been a few hours.
All right,
Right?
Abby. You don't know me, Abby. Shut up.
Abby
This is
knows you
your
more
podcast,
than
so
you think.
Yeah, I was about
yeah.
to say she probably does. You're right. No, by the end of the podcast, I'll be running on fumes. But right now we're good. I'm like hyped up. I'm seeing Abby. Abby's like, are you ready for work, Abby? Is that why you're all like dressed up there?
Yes, I'm in my office. Yeah.
Nice. Let's go. We should have an office, Linda. I should buy a building and make an office and make your ass go
You
there.
should. Actually, I'd be down for that.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it the office is in Florida though, so we'll have
that's cool too. Let's
to.
go.
Perfect. Abby, so where are you? So you're at the office. What do you do for work? Where are you at? What's going on? Fill me in. I'm the odd duck out here. I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck is
you know
going on.
nothing.
Yeah, I know. You gotta fill me in. Yeah.
Okay, so I live in Washington, D.C.,
Um,
and my office is in Rosslyn, Virginia. It's like across the river.
yep.
I travel for work, so I go to California every week.
A
Um,
week?
yes.
For how many days?
Monday through Thursday.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. So like I landed at Dulles last night at like 10. I get back to DC, and then just for like my own well-being, like I want to be in the office, like feel professional, feel like productive.
Mhm.
And then I do it all over again on Monday.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
And
I am
that
like
does sound kind of
all like
intriguing.
United points. Like I went from like peasant status to like the biggest status on United.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. Dude,
but
They're like, Miss Grant,
yeah,
welcome.
yeah. I just flew their first class. And I mean, it was obviously the first time I did it, but like it was pretty sweet. Does your business pay for it or?
the business pays for it, but I am like economy.
Mhm.
Like if I get upgraded, it's great. But I had the exit row last night, and so I got to like spread my legs. It was great.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay, so it's not terrible, but like still, first class is pretty
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
Look
But
at Eric. Abby,
I,
for the longest time, I was telling Eric, I'm like, just fly first class and just see. Like, first of all, it was getting him from economy to like the next level up. And I'm like, you're like gargantuan. You're 6'4", man. Like, why are you flying economy? I'm like, pay the extra $100 and get a little more legroom. He's so like, I don't want to pay that extra money. And I'm like, it's going to be worth it. And
yeah,
now look at him. He's like first class is
I
amazing.
know. It was
yeah,
yeah, it was pretty nice. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. That's awesome. So do you just like stay in hotels there when you go? Do you have a certain place you go to, or what's that like?
Yep. So I'm just like in a AC Marriott for 4 days, like know the front desk. Like we change rooms every week, but like it's the same
Got it.
hotel, same gym, which Linda has always, curated my workouts for like the hotel dumbbell situation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm like in healthcare consulting, so that's why we go out there. I signed the project for like another 6 months, so we'll be out there until November. But yeah, I've been flying across the country every week for since January 1st. So
And you
yeah.
still made fucking insane progress. That's wild as fuck, dude. That's wow. Okay, this is gonna be a good podcast then because I'm curious to
And I
hear.
literally am like so type A that I like wrote down my notes for like what I want to talk
You're
about,
right.
like mention. So yeah.
I love that, dude. That's awesome. And how long have you? I forgot you were in DC. Dude, we gotta get a lift. What the fuck are we doing? I feel like you said this like a while ago, Abby.
Okay, so I did, and then I posted in the clubhouse, like literally on June 1st, or when the summer challenge started, being like, looking for a workout buddy, and then it was inundated with new summer
Oh
challenge people.
yeah,
I think my post just like went unnoticed
yeah,
because people were like, not, more into that, but it's fine.
yeah,
I'll find
yeah.
my workout buddy.
We should get a lift though. Like
Mhm.
on a serious note, we should all
Yeah.
definitely get a lift. Yeah. You're in DC?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we should definitely get a lift. Yeah, that would be sick. Lower body or upper body, Abby? You pick.
Oh gosh, probably honestly lower body because I think I like would love the challenge of you guys like pushing me to do like the squats and lifts, like the deadlifts and stuff.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick. Like, Linda, we should actually set this up. Like, we
Yeah.
need to go on this. Write this down for you.
I'll write it down right now.
Give me some days and times that work best for you guys, and we can set it up. That'd be sick. So yeah, that's awesome. How long have you been in DC, Abby?
So I graduated college in 2017 from Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, Maryland, and then I moved down here in 2017, and so I've been here for about 6 years now.
Nice. Do you enjoy it?
I do. I think like I'll talk about like the culture in DC and like how it's just like a drinking culture, right? Like you go out on weekends and you brunch and drink. And I was into that for a while, but my mind's shifted the past like 6 months. So I love it. I love like walking the city and like being able to go to, New York in 4 hours and like, or Maryland or like Virginia. But I think it's like my perception's changing a bit.
Makes total sense. Yeah. Well, listen, I don't want to, I mean, I know you have notes there. So like, let's fucking get into it. Like I'm down.
I know. I love this.
I'm
Just
down.
so you know, Eric, like when we were working together, Abby, that was the thing I love. Like I love everything about you. You know that, right? But you are like, she would come ready, man. She's like the questions, the detail. And it's like, kind of like even from a coach's perspective to be pushed on like the questions is so cool because it's like you always wanted to know the why. Like, why are we doing this? What's the reasoning? What if this, and it was so cool. So I'm really excited because I knew you'd come like prepared.
Well, that's fine. I have two things on this. Number one, that you can always tell the clients that like are fucking dialed because they're asking those kind of questions. So that's cool. But number two, you can always tell the really good coaches as well, because when they get those questions, they're not like, why are you asking why? Just do what the fuck I say. And so it's like both of you got to give yourself some credit because that really is like for both of you guys, like that's really, and no wonder you guys have fucking crushed it, obviously, but it's like, yeah, that's super sick. So yeah, Abby, congrats, Linda, as well. I'll throw you a bone every now and then. No, but for real, that's awesome. I love that. Cool. Abby, dude, get into it, man. Let's chat about it. How the fuck has Abby Grant become such a savage as she is today? Let's go.
Okay. Well, I think this journey started with Linda and you like literally a year ago. Like I think I messaged you on Instagram like a year ago in June, and then we were connected with Linda like end of June. And I think I took my first like progress picture like literally June 30th.
Wow.
So it's been the most transformative year of my life. And I owe that like to Linda and to like just the Eric Roberts fitness like brand, because again, I resonated with you guys because of like the bluntness. Like there's no like sugarcoating it. And I am like a sensitive person, so I do sugarcoat things, but I think like for me to change, I love that bluntness from like the external people. And my dad has always said like it's calories in versus calories out, right? Like he's always said that. And it now makes a sense because like you guys always say that. And so it's like full circle. But so growing up, I was always super fitness oriented. My parents are in their 60s, like they're an active lifestyle. Like they Peloton every week, every day, like strength and cardio. We've always eaten really well. My brother is super athletic. Like if he was a bit taller, I mean, he would have wanted to play basketball. Like he went to Gonzaga out in Spokane, Washington, and like literally is obsessed with their basketball team. Like, and I think he wanted to play, but he's like 5'10", so just naturally athletic. I am athletic too. I played field hockey in college at Johns Hopkins. It was D3. We were so bad, and like our coach didn't care. And I think if I had known about nutrition back then, it would have been all the difference. But I knew how to lift, all that. But I think my true fitness journey started after the season ended our senior year. So 2016, I ran my first half marathon. And then I became like a cardio bunny, right? Like running, Peloton, all that. And I had been 165 pounds at like the height of my junior year. And then I've been 114 pounds in the height of COVID, as my coping mechanism back then was like run 8 miles a day, then get back to my like apartment, do my work, and like go to bed and repeat and eat like 1,000 calories. And I look back at those photos and like it was scary. But again, it was such an odd time. Like I coped that way. So now like I'm in a happy balance of like between 140, 150. And that's just like who I am, right? Like I don't think I'll ever be less than that. And with Linda and just like knowledge, like the scale doesn't matter. Like it's just data. And Linda and you have helped me realize that there are so many factors that influence that darn number. And that is just, how you know what your body is doing. So again, transformative year. And I'll pause there. But yeah.
No, I love that. No, I know, Linda, you have something. I just wanted to say it almost sounds like with your, like, what just came to my head was your story about like college field hockey, not knowing nutrition. Linda, remember when we did that podcast with Casey? Shout out our girl Casey. Yeah, that was my first thought. It was like, if you knew back then, it was like, oh damn, like you would have been like your team would have been a lot better because you would have been a fucking, you know what I mean? It's like yeah,
our center midfielder would eat a broccoli cheddar Panera bread bowl before games. Like I kid you not. Before like going to McDaniel in Maryland, she'd eat a bread bowl. And I'm like, how are we supposed to win that way? Like but yeah, so
that's interesting. Go ahead, Linda.
Yeah, I mean, so like talk to us, well, I mean, we've talked a lot. Talk to us a little bit about when you first started with the coaching, right? What was it that you were aiming for when we first talked? Because I remember that first conversation, Abby, and you had some, your goals, right? What was it that was in your head at that time when we got started?
Like lose weight, have the number go down on the scale. And
Right.
that was like what my mind was trained to do. Like we're, as women, we're just like inundated with social media being like smaller, 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 skinny, skinny, skinny. And it's hard not to like always think about that and like tie a number to like self-worth or like, and I'm not saying that like I don't still get down by that. Like, yeah, it can mess me up at times. But again, this past year, I know why the number may have spiked. Like I had a great leg day workout. Like maybe I had more carbs, right? Like maybe I'm getting sick. I don't know, right? So it's just knowledge. And it's truly just like how you feel. Like there's like your biofeedback, right? That's why we do those forms every Sunday. Your sleep could have been terrible. Like I honestly know like my weight today is probably higher because I sat on a plane for 6 hours, like not moving, lack of oxygen. Like my sleep is a little off when I come back time zone. So again, like I know this now after a year of your knowledge and your knowledge sharing, but I would never have put the two together beforehand.
But you feel now that you are in a healthier body, a healthier mindset. And why is that? Because I know that measurements change, progress pictures change, performance in the gym changed. You even ran a little race at one point in our coaching. So like talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about what you kind of like, what were the big changes for Abby?
So again, like I honestly right now feel the best I have felt in the past year. And again, like the jeans that I put on, back in June of last year that I freaked out about, they fit. Like they fit again. They actually fit better. And it's body recomp. And like honestly, the number on the scale hasn't changed. Like it's still like 148, 150 at times, but I feel different. And it's because of just like the body recomp and the strength, and it's not just cardio. And we did a lot of strength in the latter half of 2022. And then in 2023, in like January, I was like, I think it's like, as Linda would call this season of running. And it was a season of running. And it was a half marathon in March. And it was the first time I had the most holistic training schedule. Like I incorporated strength into my long runs. And I had like a knee injury in like 2018, and it's always given me issues. Because of the strength training, I didn't have knee issues running. Like I could run that 12-mile like final Saturday morning run and not be in pain after. And I truly owe that to the strength that Linda incorporated in our holistic training. And like that has never happened. And then after that, it was a season of let's go back to strength training. And like, yeah, the scale might go up again, but like we're growing and we're getting that lean muscle. And that has something like, again, I would not have known that without you guys.
Well, I mean, that's you working hard on it, you know? That I mean, you keep on saying us and our program and stuff like that. No, ma'am, Abby. You got to own that. Like you really, really do. And I want you to be super proud of you because, and I've shared before, you know, I came from a cardio background and I kind of like flit in and out as well. But the strength training for longevity and so that you can do all of those things is just incredible. And I love the way that you approached it all because again, it was very kind of like well thought out. You're like, I want to run this race. And it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And as we tapered it through, and you ran an amazing race, no less. I know you talked a little bit about DC and the culture and the food and the alcohol and the brunching and the lunching and stuff like that. How's that changed?
Yeah. So again, like when I started with you back last June, there were so many like, oh my gosh, I have this trip, that trip. Like I can't do this now.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but we did it, right? And again, just starting with Linda, like I had all this knowledge, like what is worth it? Like, is the alcoholic drink worth it, or is like the food worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And I look back and I definitely could have made more sacrifice, I think. Linda, you did a really good job of just like biting your tongue, I think, at times, and like letting me figure it out on my own and like knowing, do I want the drinks today or the food? And somehow I made progress. Like I don't think I sacrificed enough looking back. Because again, like change takes sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I wanted to have it all back then. Like I wanted to have body recomp. And so we did it. But then like external factors took place. Like work got really, really hard. End of like by Christmas, New Year. So I'm like, we had to cut the alcohol out. Like I need to be clear headed. And I only have 3 days in DC. Like I don't want to be hungover on the plane on Monday. Like that is not happening. And I'm like, you know what? Try January. Let me just do it that way. And then that led into like, okay, I have a race in March. Let me keep the alcohol out and see how that affects me. And I'm still dry.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
And that's the sacrifice. Like I am seeing results because of the lack of alcohol. Like when I go out, I don't have to plan calories for like crazy drinks. And yeah, maybe I'll factor in like a mocktail, right? Which is sugar, but I'd rather have sugar than sugar and alcohol, frankly, because the next day, like I'm able to go to the gym and be honed in. And like when I get home at night, like I'm not like ravenously like or eating like shit food because you're drunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and like there's this quote from a Peloton instructor, and he goes, I'm so out of my comfort zone, but so in my element. And that's me right now. Like to again in DC, I think to have fun, it means drinking and going out and being sober is a bit different. And like, yeah, it's a little uncomfortable, but like I'll just get like a juice, like at like the bullpen, which is like some like, place.
I know
like
what the bullpen is.
You know the bullpen, yeah. I'll get like a $4 like drink of seltzer water with some pineapple juice, and it looks like a drink, and no one cares, right? But again, I'm so out of my element, like, but I'm just like I'm really in the zone, and that's what takes sacrifice, and it's changed my perspective about the social scene. And but then again, like those who support me won't care if I drink or not, and so that's what you always say, Eric. Like, because you don't drink, so and I think you were talking to Pat on like and about like that dynamic, and like people who support you won't give two shits what you do.
Fucking matter, dude. Yeah. And Just again, first off, I said it, but like fucking congrats, dude. That's awesome. 6 full months. Let's fucking go, Abby, dude. Congrats, man. And I know, Linda, you'll have things, but I want to say something that I always find really interesting. And I'll tell a very quick story. It's going to come full circle, but like you keep saying sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. I don't think you're actually sacrificing. And here's what I mean. A lot of people will tell me, they're like, Eric, oh my God, like you're sacrificing, you're working so much, you're doing this. Like, you know, when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, like I didn't drink during that time. All I did was work. That's all I did. But like everyone was like, thought I was sacrificing something. You're not sacrificing if you're actually enjoying what you're doing. If you're actually getting value from it and you're enjoying it, and like you're, you know, yes, it's a sacrifice in the short term, but it's like it almost, to the person living it, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice. Like I'm sure for you, like, I don't know, did it actually feel like, and maybe there did too, like times here and there, but like you probably felt like you were gaining things. You felt you were gaining better health, better confidence, better self-control. And that's the second point I want to make is not only do I think it wasn't that much of a sacrifice, but also it's like most people just focus on, what am I missing out on? What am I losing? What am I giving up? Nobody focuses on, what are you gaining? Like, what are you gaining from all of this? How are you gaining more self-confidence, better health, you know, being in better physical shape, work? Like you talked about, like, that's the reason I don't fucking like drink alcohol, right? Because I'm like, I need to be fucking dialed every single day to show up for these people as best as I can. And so it's like, you're gaining all of these things. And maybe you could speak on that a bit more, but that's just like my like perspective of it. How do you feel about what I just said there?
I definitely agree. I think in the beginning, it felt like a sacrifice, but because I've been feeling the benefits, it's just part of my life. And it makes me like just be who I am and like the best version of myself. And it's just, again, like the sacrifice is like not, it's not like the first thing I think about anymore. It's just like, oh, this is how I conduct my life.
Right. I think like especially that first month for you, Abby, because I remember, because you're like, I'm gonna try dry January. I was like, think that's a great thing, Abby. And I know that it was like very, very difficult for you because, you know, your friends and, you know, you're young. And I'm like, yeah, Abby's supposed to be out there being social. I want you to be social, but there's some things that don't align with your goals, right? But I think more than just the health part of it, you going through that did something here.
Oh, it really,
right? Up
yeah.
here in the old noggin.
Yeah.
And when we do those hard things that take us out of those like places of comfort, when we are going against the kind of like supposed grain that everybody else says you need to follow, and finally we follow our own paths, it's so empowering. And that was like, I don't know, like for me looking at you that entire month, it was like getting easier and easier and easier. And it's like, it has just kind of like gone 1,000-fold from there on all different parts of your life.
100%. And again, like it's just knowledge and like the power that I have now to like be in control. And I think it gets to my kind of like next like topic I want to talk about, like the knowledge is power situation. So again, like you guys have given me so much knowledge about how everything works. And back in April, when I was still like one-on-one coaching with Linda, I had literally no time in DC. So I had no scale, like there was no weight. And I was kind of in a funk. I'm like, what is my maintenance weight? So we had stopped like the cardio. I was kind of back into strength, but like I was traveling and then spending some weekends like on the West Coast, just to kind of like have the time change, not be pushed so hard. But I had no data, right? And I'm like, what is my maintenance weight? Like, what is my calorie? So I was like at probably 2,000, 2,100 running, and that was so great. Like, it was fun to eat that much. But then, you know, stuff changes. And I'm like, what is it? And Linda's like, Abby, you need to have like 21 days of true tracking. Like, none of this, like 3,000 calories for like a ski day. Like, that doesn't work, right? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, wait, I have a bridal shower, I have this. And she's like, is the bridal shower all day? I'm like, no, it's 2 hours. And, don't go crazy on the cheese board, right? So anyways, after 21 days, like it was just what is working for my body. We adjusted some macros, we did all that. And I now know, like, in 21 days, if you really hone in on something, you can either see or feel how your body reacts and then adjust appropriately.
Mhm.
And I would never have thought of that. Like, I would have been like, let me go run, like, to try and figure it out. And again, that knowledge is so powerful for me. And again, like, since April, like, I've adjusted my macros. I've had some skin issues, so I've had to like take back the dairy and like overall whey protein. So we've had to like, I had to change some stuff, but like I'm kind of in a groove right now, and like I love how I'm feeling. So again, it's just like what's working, and if it's not, you adjust. And again, like I would not have known that without you guys.
That's so fun. It's actually so fucking funny. I was telling Linda this before we hopped on this podcast, but I just got off like 4 like Clubhouse phone calls. And the one right before I hopped on right here, the lady was also asking, she was like, how do I know if my macros work? And I'm like, 21 days. And I'm like, I said the exact same thing. So it's like, yeah, that's
Glad we're on the same
yeah,
wavelength.
yeah, I know, right? It's crazy to think about, right? But yeah, no, like that's and you're right. Like, I think a lot of times too, people they'll get so worried at like, well, does this work or does this not work? And oh my God, like it doesn't work. But it's like, you can make adjustments. Like, I think so many people are just trying to find like the perfect thing and this has to work. And like Abby, you talked about seasons. It's like, this has to work. But it's like, okay, well, when you go from working and your kids are out of school and now it's summer, it's like your shit might look a bit different. Or when you go back to school, or if you're on the West Coast versus East Coast, and it's like, things might look different, and like that's okay, because you and Linda both were taking it from like this very unemotional, just like objective, like what's working, what's not, what do we fix and what do we not. And I think that's where, and I don't know if this was the case for you or not, but I feel like a lot of times when people just like slow things down and they're not so focused on trying to get there right now, they can just look at it and say, all right, this is what's going on. I'll make this adjustment. Going good. Oh, this is what's going on. I'll make this adjustment. And it's not this like fucking like you have both ends of the extremes anymore. It's just like kind of more steady, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't tracking, like there was no goal. Again, it's like more maintenance, because like the half was the goal. And then that was, late March. And it was just now like figuring, like resetting, like, and I think because I had no goal in mind, like I was able to take the time and adjust. And I also think I just need like the little like slap being like, yeah, 21 days, like you got to do it. You can't have any of these like fudge numbers, because again, it's just data, and it's data to tell you what works and what doesn't work. And that can be scary. Like, again, if I don't see the scale going down, like I would have freaked out, right? But now I know there's, again, like you guys told me and have empowered me and know that like the scale may not change, but it's how your clothes fit and how you're sleeping, and like that occurred over the 21 days. So, yeah. And yeah, no other like goal right now for, I think maybe a half in the fall, but right now it's just more like maintenance and like strength. And I got a new gym membership to Gold's Gym. It's so beautiful and nice. But I realized that I'm like not here in July at all, so still haven't gone. But
Come on, Abby.
I'll get to the gym that I'm paying for.
Oh my God, Abby.
But, I know. I got like swindled by a good deal. Well, kind of a good deal.
That's hilarious. Yeah. It's fun. I love that you're talking about the fact that you're in this maintenance period of life, because I think a lot of people also get worried about not being in extremes. And it's like, what are you actually looking for? You're looking for good health. You're looking for balanced health. That doesn't mean we have to be like on this constant, like, ooh,
that is a goal. That is a goal.
Yeah, but it's like people like forget that because it's not exciting. You know, it's like you can't go in with your friends, oh no, I can't have that because I'm in a deficit right now, or oh, give me all of that, I'm in a surplus. Yeah, I can have that because I'm in maintenance. It's like, what? This just doesn't sound exciting. And I wish more people would actually latch onto the fact that that's the goal, that your season for most of the year is going to be in this cool, like just kind of like balanced state where you feel good mentally, physically, you're still working on like being strong. That is like fucking amazing. And people just don't like lock into that. You've like grown as an individual as far as like what you want, and that you approach things, like Eric said, without that emotional part. Like you can kind of like now like sit there and troubleshoot for yourself. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. And I think like when I was in between like the half and then like figuring out what is my maintenance, that uncertainty was like a little emotional. And I think in like my biofeedback, I'm like, this is exhausting. Like I don't know like what I am at. Like I don't want to track anymore. And you said like, Abby, you don't have to track. Like you can take some time off of tracking. Like, you know, eventually you'll know what works for you. And I contemplated that, and like again, I'm kind of surrounded by some friends who have different relationships with food, right? Some don't know what they eat, they don't care, but like they kind of are fit. I don't know. Like they do like the Orange Theory, right? Some are like recovering from eating disorders, and if I like would told them I was tracking, like they would freak out, right? Because that was triggering for them. And like I don't want to downplay that, but it's like I can't really talk to them about this journey because they probably wouldn't approve of it. But again, it's for me. And I think because I've kind of have my maintenance, like what works for me, I do like tracking because a lot of my other parts of my week are so out of my control, like my flight being delayed, or like me not having like a microwave in my hotel or something, right? And so by tracking and eating more trackable foods during the week, yeah, it may seem a bit neurotic, but like it works for me and allows me to have that some control, because everyone wants control in their life a little bit. So like again, I'm maintaining and kind of, you know, having fun where I want to have fun, but also honing in when I want to hone in.
Yeah, I have two things. The first one is you said right there, you were at this almost like this crossroads of being like, oh, I don't want to track anymore. I'm exhausted. And I think a lot of people, and this is where Linda probably did a really good job of like letting you decide. I'm sure she didn't like just tell you what the fuck to do, but it's like a lot of people, especially these days, like, oh, just it's okay. Just go ahead and just don't track, or just be like, oh, like you're tired, you're burnt out, just like go and do nothing. It's like that honestly makes us feel worse. It makes us feel worse because it's like, and I'm not saying never take a fucking break, but it's like a lot of times we like you said, we want to be in that control. We want to be able to like know that we're good. We want to be able to know like we got things under control and like we have this in our hands. And it's like, I'm super proud of you for being able to like work through that little bit of period of uncomfortableness to be like, no, like this has been exhausting, but I'll work through it. I'll get through it and I'll get the data and I'll feel in control, which by the way, I don't think that's neurotic. I don't think that's anything. I think that's just you finding out what works for you and doing it. Like there's nothing wrong with being in control. There's nothing wrong with tracking your calories. And that's the whole point. It's like, yeah, everybody's different, but if that's what works for you, dude, like do it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Right. So I love that you said that right there. And I think it was a really important point to, because people almost sometimes feel like, for example, I remember like when I first started like knowing who Kobe Bryant was, I'm like, God, this guy works fucking all day, every day. I'm like, this is insane. But like, it gave me permission to do the same. And it made me feel like I was okay. And so I know a lot of people are in the same shoes that you were in. And like hearing you say like, I felt exhausted, but I just continued on. It's like, oh shit, like Abby did that? Oh, okay, cool. I can do that too, kind of thing, right? So I'm glad you said that. And the second point, slightly switching gears, which is like, so when you traveled, like how did you stay on track when you were traveling? Because the amount of people who like fucking out the window or just don't know or whatever, it's like, and you didn't have a microwave, like how would you approach this?
We both smiled real big on that.
There are a lot of conversations and like, you know, when I wanted to do the whole 21 days, I was like, do I just like literally? So anyways, I sacrifice during the week. Like I don't go to the Whole Foods hot bar and like fill up that brown box. I take like the yogurts that are in the container. Like I take the I have packaged food, like with calories. And yeah, like my carbon footprint is probably out the roof when I travel. Like I'm just container Abby. Like it's really bad. But again, this works for me. I don't have a per diem. Like I just charge what I want to my company and like only need receipts for above $50. So I do have a lot of wiggle room. And there's a Safeway like across from my hotel. So in the mornings, I wake up at like 4:45 Pacific time. I'm in the gym by like 5 o'clock. I do either running, because again, like I don't get up during my work day. And so I am still in the mentality of like I want to like sweat and like truly feel a little bit exhausted before I start my day, because I then don't move. But I also with Linda know that like if you strength train, like you're burning that calories like throughout the day. So I've really incorporated like cardio and strength for my week. But then I walk to Safeway in the morning and I get my food. I do not Uber Eats food. Like again, a sacrifice. When my teammates sit across from me in the conference room are Uber Eating food, nope. I go down, get like my little deli turkey and like get my celery sticks, and like, I do have some like crunchy like pop chip or veggie chip. But yeah, it's like I count out my sticks and I know that's crazy. It for me it's not crazy, but other people may think it's crazy. But it works. And luckily my team doesn't love team dinner, so I don't have to like go out to like a crazy dinner every night and like have untracked food, which I know is accounting for the oils and the butter. So that helps. But yeah, I go to the grocery store. Like I'm the only person in the hotel probably who comes in with like grocery bags, but I have to in order to stay on track and feel good.
Feel good.
Yeah.
Feel good. There you go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in my previous life, I used to travel a lot before I met Eric, and
That
it's
must have been
hard.
that must have been a shitty life before you met me. Keep
It
going.
was awful. It was empty and gray and
Something was missing.
miserable. Oh, it was a lot quieter. I didn't get cussed at as much, but the travel thing is really, really always fascinating to me because it was so difficult. And I think a lot of people treat travel as like when they travel for work, they, for some reason in your head, vacation. I'm like, what? No, you're at work. So what do you do when you're at home? Let's say you're not traveling, right? You go to the grocery store. So
Yeah.
you just said, I know it sounds like kind of crazy. And it's like, well, no, because you're at home, you're working.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people get caught up in but I travel for work. I use that as an excuse. I used that for years, like to the point where I actually quit that job because I'm like, I'm not good at this. Like, this sucks. This is not fulfilling what I need to do. Right. I wasn't Abby. I didn't have like my head turned on straight at that point. So I think that's like such a great example, Abby, because there's going to be a lot of people here. They're like, oh, well, Monday through Thursday or Friday, I travel. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I was that in the beginning, like when I first started with you, I'm like, I have
Yeah.
all these things I can't do it, but we did it. And
Yeah.
that's like kind of like, I also want to iterate is like, if I can do it, anyone can. Like, I think many people in my situation probably would be like 10, 15 pounds overweight from, I'm 40,000 feet in the air Monday on and Thursday. I don't get many steps. Like my Apple Watch goes off being like, time to stand. I'm like, can't really do that. But I'm still on track. And anyone like in the clubhouse right now, like in the summer challenge, like I know it's new territory for them, but they have their scale at their kitchen. Like they can have their access to that gym, or like maybe they're at home gym. And if I can do it, they can do it. Like I'm doing it without all that kind of help. And like I'm in a hotel room, like, right? Like at a hotel gym. So it is possible, but it takes planning, it takes sacrifice. Again, eventually that sacrifice won't seem like a sacrifice. Like I like going to Safeway at 6:30 a.m. Like people know me, and I get my little Gatorades to like replenish and my yogurts and stuff, and it works. But I think again, like it, anyone can do it. Anyone can.
You know what
I
else I
want to take,
love?
go ahead.
Real quick, you know what else I love about the way you handled the travel was, Eric, this is crazy. This girl here, she's special, right?
She's something.
You're like, 2 days a week, I'm gonna have access to a hotel gym. 2 days a week, I have access to my main gym. What do we do?
Make a
And
plan.
we devised a plan that literally
Yeah.
we
Like
worked
I
on
would go in
Tuesday.
and edit it and be like, actually, can we make dumbbell like
Yeah.
alteration, like alternatives here and stuff? And Linda,
Yep.
you know, responded, and it just like helped because I, you know, and it just, yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I just wanted to take this one little step further because I feel like a lot like, so, and forgive me, I'm an actual moron. What is parody? That's like, you don't have, you don't pay
Oh,
for it or
sorry.
something?
That it means per day. So like some
Okay.
Per
consulting
diem.
firms, like they get $25 per day for food or
Got
something.
it.
For me,
Okay.
yeah. So I don't.
Right.
So most bosses give their employees that, Eric.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
I'm gonna make my point. But I feel like sometimes like someone might hear that and be like, oh, well, Abby gets $50 a day and I don't get that. Or for example, someone might be like, oh, well, Abby's team doesn't go out and do team dinners. Mine does. And it's like, hey, if that's you thinking this, like that's a fucking loser mentality. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, like fucking, like, do you get the fuck up at 4:30 in the morning and go work out like Abby does? No. Okay, cool. She's doing shit. You don't, do you go to the fucking grocery store at 6:30 in the morning? Like everybody can sit here and have this fucking, well, my situation's different because of this, or I don't get this, or she gets that. Stop. It's fucking loser mentality. Like there's a way to get it done. You just gotta find what works for you. And like we've all said, it's hard. I get it. Like it's very challenging, right? But that doesn't mean it's impossible. And it's not an excuse for you to just not do the shit that you know you need to do. So before I get too riled up here, I just want to take that a little bit of a step further and just be like, because I know most people who listen to this podcast probably won't do that, but just if there are, or maybe they send to other people, it's like, you got to find a way to figure it out. Like that's something I just applaud you for, Abby, which is like, here's the cards you're dealt, go fucking figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, failure is not an option. Not getting to where you want to be is not an option. You're like, this is what I got. Let's make it work. Like you made a plan, Linda, for the workouts. Like you went to the grocery store. You brought your fucking counted out chips to the lunch. It's like you do what you got to do. There's just not another option for you not to succeed. And so I hope people can take that from that little story about traveling. It's like, no matter what your unique little special butterfly situation is, you're not a little rainbow unicorn. Like fucking figure it out. It's hard, it's challenging, but you can do what you need to do to figure it out. So that's what I just want to say.
I would actually say you are a rainbow unicorn, and that's awesome.
Me in particular?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I wanted to say kudos for that, Abby. What other stuff do you have on your little notes there, Abby, we can hit on?
I think that was really it. I think like again with like the mind shift over the past year, I've done less cardio in the past year than in my adult life, and I honestly feel better. Like it's kind of crazy. And you know, I'm like, I'm so shocked at that. Like, yeah, like, I still like love like a good run, right? And I do think running can be pretty a community, right? Like I ran with my friend on Sunday, and like we had it was like so great to run and not be like, let's get food. No, let's run and we can talk. And then we made protein pancakes afterwards. It was great. And so but that just is like part of it. And then I, did strength on the other day, and I just never would have thought that. And so I think again, like it's just a mind shift. And
well that, and I'm sorry, but like, so I remember Linda like was talking to me about this, where she like we do like every single week we have just like meetings and whatnot, but she was talking about you, and she was kind of like saying how like you don't need to go out and drink to have fun. Like go for a hike, go for a run, make protein pancakes, right? And like that was something I wanted to ask you too, circling back around. I'm glad you brought this up. Like, because I feel this, and I've always said this, but I feel like a lot of people like being social. Like, oh, well, I won't have fun unless I drink. And it's like, could you maybe, because they've heard me yell about it in my little yelling, but like, could you maybe speak about what you do to like not drink, but yet somehow, some way still find a way to have fun? Like what do you do for that?
And before you say something, Abby, remind everyone again how old you are.
I'm 28.
28.
You're a baby, Abby.
She's
No.
a baby.
I look like so young too. Oh, it's so unfortunate.
No, that's awesome. You're
I
28. You're in the prime of like, social life.
Okay, I can take that a few ways. So yeah, it was hard. But what I do is I just like I truly think I'm more confident without the alcohol. Like I just walk into the bar and I get my water, I get a seltzer with like lemon and lime and have a great conversation. I go to the bullpen and I order like that colorful drink and no, I hold it like a cup, right? Like, oh, Abby's drinking, right? It's still a little odd, right? But my credit card likes it, and I love, but I definitely also have kind of taken a step back from being super social this year, just life and priorities and stuff. But I went to a wedding in early May, and like my plus one was my friend, and she doesn't drink. And so I think it's easier to not drink with someone. But we had like the best time on the dance floor, and just we got like another cup full of drink, and my friend's like, "Oh, Abs, like what you drinking?" I'm like, pineapple juice, and he thought it was like a mojito or something, and no one truly cares. I was able to like drive home that night and go to the gym the next day. Like that would never happened. I'm still like, I'm pretty, I just act like I would when I'm out in public, and definitely when I see people at like a concert drunk, like at the bullpen, I'm just like, oh God, like, and like that was me, that has been me, and I'm not like, I had that situation, but I'm like, they're gonna feel so bad tomorrow, and I'm not gonna feel that way. With dating, like because that was a thing with Linda, like last year, and like how to navigate like going on a date, because that usually does involve like drinks, like let's get drinks, right? Um, I have taken a step back from dating. It just doesn't fit my agenda right now. I was asked out on a date like more naturally than like the dating apps a few weeks ago. And I did say, like, just so you know, I'm not drinking right now. You can feel free to like get a beer, right? Like I don't care. But he actually was like, oh, like that's totally fine. Like I'll look up some mocktail places. And like we actually went to a place and got mocktails, like both of us. And like that was really sweet. And it kind of addresses the point, like people who support you will like cater like events to you and stuff. It didn't work out. Like I just, wasn't feeling anything. But again, like just really kind of him to think of like the more like mocktail route. But I'm going up to like my family's lake house this for 4th of July, and it has always been like, as we've gone older, like we go to breweries, and I'm like the biggest brewery girl, but I'm not gonna drink this year. Like it's not ready. I'm not ready for that, and it's gonna be a change. But I'm still gonna go to the brewery, have a Diet Coke maybe, and enjoy the music and enjoy the people I'm with. And I think I was forgetting to do that when I was like drinking.
Wow.
I want to click end. Like that was fucking awesome. No, I love that, because I mean you're so right, man, and especially because for whatever reason it's like such a social norm. I don't know why. Which by the way I do think is actually changing, but for the longest time it was such like oh yeah, everyone just drinks. And like even like when I was growing up, I'm like, what? Why? Why? Like what? This doesn't make any sense. I'm like, why are we doing this? And like it's just super cool to hear you talk about like, you don't need this. You don't need that. Like you're confident in you. So why the fuck do you need anything else to make you like you're good? And so you're going to have a great time with the people around you and have really good conversations. And it's like, you know what I mean? And I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's like, if you need alcohol to like fucking get to the people around you, like that should be a fucking sign right there. It's like,
red flag.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no, that's awesome, Abby. I'm like, just coming from, because I kind of like know what you're going, like, that's really impressive, man. I'm really happy for you. And it's no surprise that you're just like feeling like a fucking savage, because like you are, like the amount of confidence, I can just tell the amount of confidence you have in yourself right now, like that it all speaks to the work that you've been putting in, because you're good with you. What the fuck else? What do you need? Like, you're good. You don't need shit else to feel good. Like, you are good with you. And that's just, it shows, man. And it's super inspiring, to be honest with you.
Thank you. And I just, again, I truly credit it to you guys, because again, it's been a year of such growth. Like, I don't think I was at this point last June. Like, there's no way. And again, like this, the knowledge and the encouragement and like the true coaching from Linda, like we like always responding to my comments, always responding to maybe like more frantic emails. I am a worrywart at times. Being like, what the heck is happening? And her like giving me just calming knowledge. It's truly been impactful. And like, it's still a learning lesson. Like, again, like it will always be a learning curve, but it is great to feel good right now.
Yeah. And I want to hit on that, because when you, there's this saying, it's like, your life is a direct result of what your peer group expects from you. And like Linda, like, I know Linda, like she's a fucking killer. Like she's one of the most amazing people I've ever met. And so it's like, when you have her in your corner 24/7, it's like, well, of course your life is going to get better. Of course you're going to get better. Of course, like she expects you to go out there and crush it. She expects you to show the fuck up. She expects you to do the 21 days of like, cool, you have a fucking bridal shower, fucking great. You're still going to stay on track, right? It's like, and you like, it's just more like testament to Linda, but also to your point of like, the people you surround yourself with really fucking matter. Shocking, right? We've all heard this, but it's like, the people you surround yourself with matter. The people who, you kind of have to check in with your life on at times. It's like, they matter a lot, right? And so, for you, you've seen that. But for the people listening, it's like, whether it's getting a coach, or whether it's changing your friend group, or whether it's, changing the scene of your social, it's like, the people you surround yourself with, man, it fucking matters. And like, if you're surrounding yourself with someone like Abby or like Linda, who, they expect you to be great. They don't expect you to be mediocre. They don't expect you to not be healthy or not stay on your shit. Like, that's what they expect from you. So you're going to have to elevate yourself to get to that level when you surround yourself with those kind of people. So it's a kudos to both of you, man. It's like I said, it's fucking inspiring as shit. It's so cool to hear.
I want to say one more thing. Like, because I had a coach, like she pushed me to show up. And I think it's okay if you're type A, right? Like I'm type A, you always think you got it. I got this under control. I didn't feel that way last June. And to raise my hand and be like, I need help, it took a lot. And I'm really happy I did, because everyone needs help. And it's okay to ask for that help and seek professional people. Like, you two are experts in your field. I am not. Like, yeah, I can go run, I can like, lift a dumbbell, but like, just the whole package, I needed that. I it takes sacrifice, like time, money, other stuff, but it's worth it. And when you need help, you gotta say I need help, and there's no shame in that.
Love that, Abby. Like, the mom in me, when you were I'm like, my daughter has grown.
Yeah.
Like, seriously though, but it is you, because you were open to all of that. You were willing to make mistakes too, and be honest about them, because when we lie to ourselves, then we can't get the help that we want. We can't go that next step. And sometimes it's really, really hard to sit there and go, God, right? Because it's easier to beat ourselves up over it, but you didn't do that. You were like, I'm open to this. I'm frustrated. I'm going through this. I don't get this. I don't get that. But it's like, there's a way. And you were always looking for that way. And I love that this is your balance. And you're like, you've said a couple of times, I feel in a good place right now. you're going to be in a good place for the rest of your lives because you've put in the time, you've put in the effort, you have given sacrifices on your end to be in this place so that you have the tools that when shit does happen, life is life, you're going to be able to, sure, wallow for a little bit, but
Yeah.
then you're going to be like, who am I? I'm Abby.
Yeah.
I am
A good
Abby.
wallow does feel good at times, but then you gotta,
Absolutely.
then like I had that a few weeks ago. I was like, oh my God. And I just got back to it. Like
Yep.
the next month, I think I had Monday I had off or something. And like I got back to it. And yeah, you can think about like, you know, the you're sad or something on a Sunday and like what you did and maybe we're on track. But I had the foundation, the knowledge to get back out there on Monday. And there's going to be more days I want to wallow, but I'm going to have the foundation to get back on track.
Oh God, I love that. That foundation. That foundation is everything, Abby. Absolutely everything. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. And you guys gave me that. Like I'm very grateful for that. And for the platform that you guys have and the content you share. Like I just wish everyone could see it and just be so blunt. Like you can't sugarcoat stuff and you guys don't. And again, like I'm just very appreciative of that.
Of course, dude. Well, I mean, this right here is fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like, and I've said this multiple times, but like, this is just why, like, this will never get old. Like hearing you just fucking go out there and just like I'm ready to run through a fucking brick wall. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm so happy that your life, not just your fitness and not just your muscles and not just your body fat levels, but like you are a fucking, like I said, Linda, like she's a killer. Like you're a killer. Like you guys go out there and like, you're going to be a killer for the rest of your fucking life. And it's like you said, of course you'll have times here and there, whatever, but it's like, there's no better way to live your life than just knowing like you're that motherfucker. And it's like, that's what I want for every single human being on this planet. Cause as cliche as it is, we only get this one little shot right here. And so it's like, why would you not want to live your life to the fucking utmost of your ability, being the most confident, knowing you can take on anything, accomplishing things like, and that's what you're doing, man. And like, you're literally just getting started, which is like the fucking crazy, you know what I mean? Like you're literally just getting fucking started. So I'm really just want to thank you for your hard work and thank you for your consistency and your dedication, because it's like, and you'll see this, and I'm going to tell you now, I'm like foreshadowing to what's going to happen. The people that you start to surround yourself with as well, you are going to inspire those people more than you could ever start to even begin to imagine. And it's probably, by the way, it's probably already happening, but like you said, yes, right? It's like, because you're doing this and because you're doing what you need to do and you're becoming this fucking stone cold killer, like other people are going to be impacted in a positive way because of you and your actions. And like that, to me, that is the most important thing in this life, because we all, like, this needs to happen to all of us. And because you took this upon yourself, man, like, I hope you realize it. And I don't know, maybe you said it's already happened, but like, I hope you're starting to understand that component of it as well.
Yeah. And it feels good to like have people look up to you and like to just share the knowledge and be impactful and have people look up to you. And so, yeah, that you're so right on that part.
Love it, dude. Sweet. Linda, any last thoughts or?
Love you,
I know.
I do. Just, like, I mean, Eric said it, I expect the highest of the high for you for the rest of your life. I expect that whenever you find the one, that I'll be one of the first to know about it.
Wow.
You get the invite. Honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen. That may be like, I'm thinking like the single life is gonna be Abby's life. I don't know.
Abby's straight dialed.
I'm good with that too. I'm not like, whatever
I'll be a great +1 to every wedding. I'll be the DJ, I'll be the dancer, I'll be great.
There you go.
But whatever you do in life, Abby, I just always know it. I'm not in a creepy way saying I'm always watching you, but I'm always thinking about you. I'm always expecting you to just keep on being Abby, because I feel like you see yourself clearly now. And that is like who I always knew was there. I always knew it.
Oh, thank you guys. It's been really, really wonderful. Like I was looking forward to this so much, as you can tell by my notes. But just a really great way to end the week and like go into like a new month. It's crazy.
I love that. And just really quickly, I'm going to ask you a question, but I want to piggyback off of what Linda just said. Don't ever, even in the slightest, sacrifice who you are, what you believe in, and what you're about for anybody, anything, anywhere. Because like I've been saying, like, you got it, dude. You know what the fuck is going on. You know who you are. You know what you're capable of. You know what your potential is. Not even for a fucking smidge of a second should you ever in your life let that drop, because you're so up here that, like, yeah, never. Like, it should never ever happen. And I know you won't let it, but I just got to say that because she's right. Like, you are fucking amazing, man. So I want to make sure I just leave you with that as well. Is there any last things on your end, that you want to say, talk about, if somebody's listening and they're, trying to make a change, trying to get to where you're at? Anything you want to leave people with?
I think just take that step. Like if you're on like the border of like, let's do it, let's not do it, do it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You can try something else, like anything in life. But I think just if it helps your health, you got to do it. And again, knowledge is power, and you will be a different person. And I am a different person, and it's just been the best year, honestly. Yeah. So thank you.
Of course. Abby, you're killing it, man. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate taking time out of your day, man. We love you. We appreciate you. Looking forward to, we got to get this lift. So Linda, let's make sure.
I wrote it down. Oh my God.
We gotta get this lift.
They will email.
Yeah. Got to make sure we get this lift. And just again, man, thank you for your hard work, because I think especially right now in today's day and age, like, we need more people like you who just show the fuck up. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Of course. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Okay.
Love you, Abby.
So,
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.